Welcome to At the Vanguard. We're TB Vanguard, and our motto is for fans by fans. We showcase fans on the front line of the Team Breezy movement. This podcast is an open forum to discuss current topics as they relate to Chris Brown and his fan base.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming to our podcast number 15. Am I wrong, Paul? Is it
number 15? That's where we are.
And Friday we did have actually it was Thursday. We had, what day did we have the international one? Thursday?
Yesterday.
God, it seems so long ago. I've got too many things going on.
It was early in the morning.
Yeah, yesterday we had the international first international podcast, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we quickly kind of jumped into a conversation while we were waiting for everyone to join. And what we were talking about, and we really want everybody's opinion of, is Team Breezy, how big of a fan are you? Poll question that was sent out by it's called
Hot New Hip Hop.
Hot New Hip Hop. And that's what Paul and I were talking about. We weren't talking about an interview or anything like that. But what was interesting, and the reason Paul and I had a disagreement, not a real disagreement, just a slight disagreement, is that Hot New Hip Hop has always been a supporter of Chris. And they always support Chris's music, and they always write stories. They had a real big write-up about Chris when he had his documentary. And so the poll question came out, and I looked at it and retweeted it. And then, Paula didn't really feel the same way after going through the poll question. And we had a couple of people who, not through our retweet, but just because they follow Hot New Hip Hop, they replied to the poll, but they made it clear and at Hot New Hip Hop and said, hey, I'm a fan of, I'm 100% fan of Chris's, but some of those questions on there I thought were unnecessary, and why can't we keep a positive light? And so the poll questions, there was probably around 12, and it was you really had to be a fan to know some of those answers. But they did reference 3 times the incident between Chris and Rihanna. And the discussion between Paul and I was, Hot New Hip Hop, they support Chris, but they're not Team Breezy. So they're not going to be protective of Chris in any way, shape, or form, but they're going to acknowledge his talent as an artist. And the discussion I had with Paula was, in reality, we want to protect Chris. Obviously, we're his fans. But in the reality of the world, if they do say something not necessarily negative about Chris, they're going to reference the incident with Rihanna as another fact in his career. They're not going to not say it, because as far as they're concerned, that's an incident. Now, they didn't say, oh, he beat the brakes off of her or anything like that, but they did reference it 3 times. And so the discussion was, did you guys see the poll? Second thing is, if you saw the poll, what did you think about those 3 questions? And third of all, what do you guys think about a media blog or anybody in the media who's, music expert or music blog, referencing Chris and that incident as if it's just a factual footnote on the timeline of his career. That's what we were talking about, though. If he didn't do any interviews, we were just talking about that poll.
Oh, okay, I understand. I just came in on the tail end, but it was just my brain started working automatically. And it's not, to me, really about protecting Chris. It's not about being Team Breezy. It's about having respect and respecting that people just make mistakes. He certainly is not the only one. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of celebrities that have crap in their closet, and they will not put up with any form of disrespect in any setting. They literally sue people based on bringing up crap that happened centuries ago. I was just giving an example of Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a rapper. He's not a singer, but he's still a celebrity, and Chris is too. Chris is a celebrity, and they kind of all, even though they have different jobs, they all kind of, to me, fall under the same umbrella.
I agree.
And I just noticed how respectful. And when they do get out of line, Robert Downey Jr., baby, he shut it down real quick. He'll stand up and say, you know what? This is not why I'm here. Bye. And you know what? He's a top of the line star, and I'm a huge fan of Robert Downey Jr. But for a very long time in his career, he was on drugs. We thought Robert Downey Jr. was gonna die.
Yes.
Because every time we looked up, he had broken in somebody's house and was living at their house when they were on vacation. They come back, they found Robert Downey Jr. living in their house, eating their food and
that was crazy.
doing their stuff. I remember that being on the news all the time. That went on for a year. For a year or two. He was really messed up. But you don't ever hear that being brought back up in his face. And when it is, baby, he shuts it down. But
this is my point. This was supposed to be, generally when you do those little celebrity quizzes, they're fun. They're considered fun. The other facts were, what was his first hit? Who's discovered him? Those are normal things that you would put in a quiz about a star. The worst event of their life to be referenced more than once. You're not going to post it. It's just
no, you're not going to post it.
It doesn't fit.
That's called a frenemy, not a friend. I'm sorry.
It's like that. Yeah, I mean.
Let's call it what it is. It's a frenemy. Somebody posing to be a friend.
But,
Hey, Sade, did you see it, Sade?
I didn't. I saw the tweet of the poll. I never clicked on it, but I saw one of my Twitter followers was saying that that quiz was trash because they referenced to it. I didn't know that they referenced it 3 times. Mm-hmm. However, we do know that is a pivotal moment in his life and career, so it has to be mentioned whenever you talk about it.
No, ma'am.
But not every time. Not every time. Not every time. Not every time. But you can't talk about him and not jump over that hurdle because basically that changed a lot of things for him.
I don't agree with that. I'll tell you why I don't agree.
But I don't feel like you have to bring it up every time you talk about him, but we can't act like it didn't happen. But what I don't like about the media is that they do always make that the reference. Like when they talk about him, whenever it's an article written, they'll say blah, 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 whatever he's doing, and then they'll put that in there. And it's just like, why?
So my question is, why can't we act like it didn't happen? Because it sure gets acted like it didn't happen with everybody else's.
Exactly.
Because of who he did it to. I always say people don't care about what he did, it's who he did it to. They don't care. They don't care what he did, it's who he did it to.
That's the major part of it. But
my thing is, if she's not harping on it, why is anybody else? I mean, again,
because they're mad that she's not harping on it.
Her career has gone on. She has become a success. She is a successful person. She is not living in the past.
Well, and
it doesn't make or break her. This didn't make or break.
Wasn't supposed to bounce back.
Well, here's my take on it. This is a great discussion.
Yeah.
That's my take.
It really is.
Because there's no. I mean, I think Sade's right. You can't keep jumping over that, but it has to be dealt with tastefully. How you acknowledge it. It's really how do you acknowledge what happened, because it did change his whole career. It changed her whole career. So you can't really ignore it. But how do you respectfully just acknowledge it and then move on?
But
I don't know why it needs to be acknowledged. It's something that's happened already.
Yeah, not for everything.
It's done. We've moved on from that. We need to be focusing on the present, which is his career now. What's he doing now? Where is he in relationships now? Things like that to me would be more beneficial than talking about something that happened
almost 10 years ago.
Going on 10 years.
I mean, it's just old.
Going on 10 years.
But here's the thing, though, that, I mean, this is just the reality of the situation. People, businesses, media, news outlets, whatever category you want to put them into, they're still going to try and report facts. Either they're going to exaggerate or not exaggerate it. But I think fans want it to move on and not keep mentioning it, obviously. But it's still a footnote in his career, and I think that's the discussion: is how does it become? what's a respectful way to acknowledge that footnote in his career?
Well,
And
address the things that he addressed in the documentary. Ask specific questions in regards to that. I can understand doing that versus steady referencing. I mean, have some valid facts and information, and do it from that perspective. From in the documentary, Chris stated blah 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 blah. There are ways to communicate that doesn't come off as being negative.
So let me give you an example. So I think this is a perfect example to discuss, because it wasn't an article. It was a poll, and it was to see how big of a Chris Brown fan you are. And it was really things that if you weren't a fan, even I got one wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? I should have got all these right. But the way, I'm going to just tell you the way they referenced the situation, and I'm going to paraphrase because I'm just going to paraphrase it. They basically said something to the effect, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, that Chris was supposed to perform on the Grammys, and he didn't perform because of the altercation with Rihanna. And the question was, so who took Chris's place to perform? That's how it was posed. And it was, of course, the answer was Justin Timberlake. But that's how they didn't say they just said he was, they just referenced the incident and said he was supposed to perform. He couldn't perform because of the incident with Rihanna, who performed in his place. So
why reference it 3 times in your quiz though?
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. But you see what I'm saying? It's, for me, I try to look at it a little bit from an objective perspective. And I know they support Chris. I know I wouldn't say they're fans, but they are very big supporters of his talent. And that when I saw that question, I was like, okay. And then I forgot what the second question and third question was, because you'd have to actually go through the poll to get the exact wording of it. But that's what the first poll question was. So do you guys think that?
I don't think it would matter.
Disrespectful? What do you guys think? Disrespectful? Do you think it was excessive?
I don't want to come out as not being objective. I think I would feel this way whether I was a fan of Chris Brown's or not. Because my thing is, this will be my same exact argument for anybody. With Snoop Dogg and anybody. But I do think that I just feel like sometimes you can just do things tastefully. Why are you talking about the Grammys from back then? Why are you not talking about the ones that's going on now? I don't get that. I can understand you referencing the incident if it were in regards to the documentary, but I don't know under any other connotation. Who cares who performed back then? Nobody cares.
But I mean, it's an interesting question. But if it could have been done completely without all of that reference. I'm looking at the quiz now. Okay, wait a second.
Yeah, we have questions, Father. So
reference the documentary. Ask specific questions in regards to the documentary.
Okay, but let's yeah, but let's listen to what they asked us.
Okay, listen. Let me read one of the questions. In 2015, Brown was told by officials. Okay, 1 minute. I'm getting an echo. I need to mute. Yes. In 2015, Brown was told by officials that he might not be able to enter what country because of his domestic abuse history. How is this a fun question? How is this something that really needs to be brought into a quiz about a fan? It's just not.
Paula. Just read the question though. Okay?
I did.
Commentary later.
Okay, I did.
Read the other question too.
Okay, but you have to go through the whole thing. Wait a minute. Okay, and then, the next question is, Rihanna confirmed that she had rekindled her romantic relationship with Chris Brown how many years after the infamous assault incident?
All I'm trying to do, all I'm trying to do is make it easier for the edit, okay? So now, when you hear all 3 questions, what do you guys think about that?
That's stupid.
I
It's
certainly
stupid.
wouldn't click on follow for this publication because I feel like it's just plain and simple for me. This is a frenemy. This is not a person who's going to promote anything positive. I'm sorry, that's just how I look at it. That's not somebody I will follow. It's not a publication I will follow, and I wouldn't have answered those questions. I might would have popped off with some questions of my own for them.
Yeah, why do you feel the need to reference that incident 3 times?
Yeah, why
There's
are
so
you?
many things they could have asked and opposed to. I can understand one question about it because you can't jump over that incident like it didn't happen in his life. You can't. So it's 1 question, bare minimum. 3 was definitely unnecessary. Definitely unnecessary.
But I would say 0 because, and I'm saying you talk about Robert Downey Jr. You talk about
Let's talk about Sean Penn.
Sean Penn,
Okay.
Johnny Depp. You would not see, and if you go to E or anything,
Never
do these little quizzes. They don't reference things like this. It's inappropriate.
No.
It's unprecedented. It's not
Because
done.
1, they're white.
Any media
They're
umbrella.
They're white, and then their victims or whatever their scandals wasn't with another. Well, Sean Penn was with Madonna, even though she denies that it never happened.
There's also another celebrity who was dating another celebrity, and he hit her so hard he knocked her hearing. He affected her hearing.
Yeah.
And that's never been, because you know what? Basically, Madonna protected Sean, and so did this other celebrity protect this other guy,
Right.
because she knew it would affect their career. That's why those women protected those men.
But see, I've said this. But I've said this.
Maybe it didn't go down. Maybe those women took responsibility for whatever their actions were to, not that it's any effort okay for a man to knock you out. But I just don't know. I just don't know. You have to know the circumstances of what would bring a person to this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna lose.
But
it
I
all.
say this. I say this all the time, and I strongly stand by this, and I believe this. Had the Grammys not been the next night, we would have never knew about that. They would have went home and would have never said nothing. We would have never knew. Just like
That's true.
we would have never knew. And everybody in that camp would have been keeping it swept under the rug and turning their heads, not saying nothing like they did all the other times it happened. On both ends, no one said anything.
Same thing with Pamela Anderson. I can't remember who that guy is.
Oh, Tommy Lee
all the time.
and Kid Rock. They both beat her.
And gave her sexually transmitted diseases and hepatitis. I think he gave her hepatitis
Hep
C
C.
or
Yep.
C. I can't remember. Yeah,
Hep
she
C.
has that because of him.
Yeah, she said she got it from a
I don't
tattoo.
ever see that being brought up.
White.
Never see that in the news.
He's white. He's white. They're white. Like they're always gonna save the white people. Always. Always. There was a football player, I think he played on Jets or the Giants, who openly admitted that he beats his wife. And he still plays there. He still plays on the team. They didn't make no outrage. They didn't, like he said, he beats his wife. And nothing happened to him. Nothing. I'm like, so why y'all not making this a Ray Rice thing? People who don't want Christopher to prosper are always going to make 09 the pivotal point of he can sell all the records in the world, break records, and win all. It wouldn't matter to them. They wouldn't, because even when he won a Grammy, people were upset that he won a Grammy. How you could give him a Grammy and he hit such and such. I mean, they're not awarding his behavior. They're awarding his talent, his music. That's his job. That's what we're supposed to focus on. His music. His career as a musician. Anything else that happens behind closed doors is none of our business. And when people ask me that too, like, how can you still be a fan? I mean, because I don't care about what he do in his personal life. It does not affect me at all.
That's right.
I will bring up somebody else that can show that after a while it just boils down to talent. And I'm pretty sure, didn't Eminem go through hell with the Catholic Church and them doing that kind of stuff? Because of the lyrics that he had and the stuff he had going on with his mom and his wife and stuff. And after a while, they eventually just start focusing back on his talent. So.
However, he's white though, too.
No, I understand that. I understand that he's white. I'm just saying, it's a tricky situation, and the question really comes down to how do you reference 09
in a tasteful manner?
In a tasteful manner.
And does
You
it
understand? That's
always
really
have
what it
to
is.
be referenced? That's the issue. That's another issue. And it's,
I reference current events, current things that's going on, like with the documentary. Be specific. That lets me know you're not fully educating yourself on, both sides of the story. I mean,
Are
that's
you-
to me
wait,
the best
was
way
the
to lead it up and
documentary-
bring it up.
Was the documentary mentioned at all in the quiz?
no.
Of course not.
That's what
Was
I'm
Black
getting.
Pyramid mentioned in the quiz?
No.
Was the documentary mentioned in the quiz? No, it was not.
Was the fact that he owned 14 Burger Kings mentioned in the quiz?
Now that's a trivia question. That is a trivia question. Not something that everybody knows about him and Rihanna. That's not a trivia
Right.
question. Everybody knows that.
Well, I think again, this is obviously like I said, they're not Team Breezy or anything like that. They're pulling information. They're trying to come up with the quiz, and I'm not saying anything other than say what they did, which is they got some information and put together a quiz. Had some tricky questions in there, but the question really is how to tastefully acknowledge 09 and keep it moving. That's really what the
At this point, it's just to keep it moving. It's almost 10 years. Like, why are you still dwelling on something that's almost a decade old?
A reference, more tangible. If you're gonna bring old crap up, bring up more. Again, you have a new information that he's brought out. Of course, there's still gonna be questions about what happened, but now you got he said, she said. So why aren't you specifically addressing those specific discrepancies?
On that note, I think, because I'm a timekeeper, on that note, that was very perfect. Let's move on. Because April, that's not how we were trying to start the podcast, but I think that was a good way to start it.
Yeah.
You ended on a perfect note. So
Awesome.
let's do a quick check-in and see who's here.
Okay, and then I'm looking here.
Hey, Paula.
Yes.
Wait, I'm going to put myself on mute, though, okay? Because I
Okay.
know that you said there's a echo.
Okay, so we have April, D, Sade, and Paula, but Nikki is on the way. She's still commuting, but she's on the way and she'll be here soon. And it's been a while, so we're looking forward to talking to her. One topic we were talking about, and this is exciting news, that Welcome to My Life, the documentary, will be on Netflix. Yay! And it's so funny because, whenever we talked about all the platforms, we kept saying, oh, HBO and all stuff. And April, I will say, you insisted, no, it needs to be on Netflix. And bam, somebody listened. Somebody heard you and listened. And here we are. October 7th, Welcome to My Life comes to Netflix. So
His Instagram comments are in a firestorm right now. People are so excited it's going to be on Netflix. Oh, my God.
Yes.
His comments is crazy underneath that post on his Instagram. Everybody's like, oh, my God, can't believe this. Like, they are excited. I'm happy for him.
Oh, yeah. And April, you had to feel justified.
Yeah, I think that's important. And any good marketing company, any management company should know that that's going to be the best outlet to put that information out there, because so many more of the population is watching everything on Netflix, again, Hulu, on all of these different Slice, all these different networks, because people are not. They just aren't purchasing cable anymore, so anybody could have done the demographics on that and known that right away. And plus they have polls on Netflix. What do you watch the most? I don't know if y'all seen those polls. I'm always, I follow all the polls because I like to take the test. So yeah, I definitely knew that's going to be whoever their marketing person is, or whoever whoever does the research at is it RCA? Whoever does that, they did their job.
That probably was more so Riveting's business decision on their part with Chris, because RCA had nothing to do with his documentary at all. That was all Chris and Riveting. Because I remember I heard that when they were initially, because remember he gave us the trailer since like April of 2016, and we didn't get it to June of this year. I think because a lot of people said that. I think one of the directors did an interview. It was the same interview, I think, where he revealed that Rihanna gave the okay for him to, the blessing of like she's fine with him talking about the situation. I believe he said that they shopped it around to a lot of like big movie companies, and they turned it down. They didn't want it. They didn't want no ties with Chris. So they took that chance and just did it themselves. Like, fuck, I was gonna curse. F it, we gonna put it out independent, just us. And I was like, that's crazy that a lot of people like turned that down. Do you know how nosy people are? Like, but then I thought about it, like getting it through a distribution company, like a big like Lionsgate or something like that, like Screen Gems. They would have pocketed most of the profit from that. Riverdale and Chris get all that money back from the documentary.
Right.
It's a win-win situation. It was a blessing in disguise that they said no.
But see, that's been the case for so many things with him, though, don't you think? But when the shoe company didn't want to work with him, or a clothing company as an endorsement, that's when he started Black Pyramid. Well, it was Mechanical Dummy, but Black Pyramid started, and I mean that's been extremely lucrative, way more than he would get with a licensing agreement. I mean, that would be meaningless, and as far as by comparison, so he's had a lot of blessings like that. So we have to make sure everybody adds it, and right before it comes up, we're going to tell people, oh, you need to sign up for the 7-day free trial, if nothing else, and make sure you put Welcome to My Life in your list, in your playlist.
But that's just saying that the movie is released in the month of October. So that means it's just added on to all the new movies that come out in October. Right. And what we could do is say, have a Netflix and chill night event for Team Breezier fans, and say, oh, so-and-so night is Netflix and chill, and you guys can be looking at, say, the documentary, and then maybe perhaps Stomp the Yard, or maybe Papers, or something like that. So we could help promote it on that end. Right. But it's just meaning that it's released. It's going to be on, I think, forever on Netflix until they decide to take it off. But I think it's good that it's also one of the things that's leading up to the album being released at the end of the month.
Well, we're flying through these subjects today.
But I did want to ask a question. I mean, we've seen, and this is really the thing that we wanted to always talk about. Last week we talked about the young girl, the young 19-year-old girl, and some of the tragedy that happened to her in her life. And this time from a social commentary, I think, we just recently heard today Donald Trump talking about any of the NFL athletes who take a knee, that that sons of a bitch should be taken off the field.
Right.
And, on top of it, Chris put, and I'm not a reader, but I did know who this lady named Toni
Morrison, yes.
Chris put Toni Morrison on his Instagram page, and she said some very profound things. And then shortly after that, he posted what Diddy said, basically, and Chris put in the comment section for the post with the hashtag, basically TakeAKnee. Diddy and even Chris is pushing for the players to make a statement, make a stand tomorrow. And, Diddy was saying he doesn't really say anything or ask for anything, but, this is a chance for the players to take a stand. And then the NFL commissioner also said that they didn't appreciate Donald Trump making those type of comments. To me, I love for us to have a discussion on it, but only thing I would ask, just to make it more pertinent, let's not talk about Donald Trump as a person or as the president, but maybe talking about how he represents the racism that's being a little bit more blatant and more open. And from what I understand, a lot of the NFL owners were big contributors to his campaign. So actually, he's talking for his constituents who he got money from. But what do you guys think about the president saying this? And also, it's just so blatant with the racism and all. So what do you guys think? But this time, let's take a person at a time, though. Okay. so Paula can edit edit right. So let's take a person at a time. What do you guys think, though? I know you have thoughts.
Can you call him? Okay.
April?
I know where he was located, Alabama. You know, I'm from Mississippi. So I think that he does whatever he needs to do to cater to that venue at the time. I just think that's what he does. Same thing with the North Carolina thing. You know, those are red states. And I've always said that there are always power in numbers. When Kaepernick took a knee, he should have had a lot more support, and this wouldn't even be an issue. Because guess what? Those NFL players could run the show any time of the day, whenever they wanted to. But because they were more concerned about, you know, not focusing to me on, you know, the real issue there, our understanding, and I just think that comes from lack of knowledge, of not knowing that there are power in numbers, and you are controlling your destiny in those type of situations and those type of careers. You're the asset. So when you're the asset and you know that, then you take it and you run with it, and you can have whatever platform you want to have with it. But other than that, I just I noticed that the union spoke against what he said, and I honestly think had he been saying these comments prior to, because a lot of people who were supporting him in the beginning of the campaign, I mean, a lot of people have been jumping ship because of these anti-Semitic comments that he's been making. So I don't know if the true person is coming out, or this is what I'm doing for the platform I'm on right now. You do something based on my location, because I know, you know, if I'm in Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, well, those are Confederate flag places with those monuments, you know, places. So, you know, those were the hardest locations to get to transition into abolishing slavery. So, I mean, I just think that he knows that, and he plays to that. That's who he is.
Do you think what do you think the players are going to do tomorrow, though, April? What's your hope or thoughts?
You know, I've read a lot of those comments and those sound offs, but you know what, honey? I think that we will see what they do, because you know what? I just think that people are much more concerned about, you know, paying these house notes, or taking care of the family, their own financial situation. They're more concerned about losing their positions because they don't know their own power. I think that's still an issue, because it wasn't that many comments. I maybe counted 10 or 15 comments that I read, and a lot of those weren't NFL players. Some of them were, but a lot of them weren't. So, you know, even expecting some of them to have current event knowledge of what's actually happening in this country, I don't think anything's gonna go down tomorrow. You may have one or two, you know, who may grasp the real issues here, but no, honey, I don't think that we have a synonymous amount of people who's gonna get that. That's in that industry.
Hey, Sade, what do you think?
Oh Lord, out of that Donald Trump man, I don't have nothing nice to say about him. I did see a lot of athletes basically dogging him out on Twitter today, and I was just thinking, you know, it just baffles me that this is the same man, this man that's in the White House, said racists and white supremacists are very fine people. And he called people that took a knee against racism, inequality, bigotry, homophobia, and called them sons of bitches. it boggles my mind. Like, and sometimes I think this is a joke. Like, it can't be no way this is really reality. Like, the head honcho of the United States thinks not being a racist or a bigot is a horrible thing, but it's okay to be racist. And it just kind of reverts back to everything, like, our roots. And it's so, like, triggering. And then it's like you also want athletes and people in positions of power to take a stand against it and fight. But then you think about it, these people ain't gonna put their careers and their check on the line to make us feel safe. They got their own life to live and their own family to take care of. And it's just like, what do you do? Like, do we personally do something? Do we wait for celebrities? Because people like to put celebrities in like the position of if they're God. It's like, well, if a celebrity is not doing it, then all hell breaks loose. And I never really understood that. It's like, what do we do as regular people? Like, do we come together? Do we be outraged? It's just like, I have so many questions that need answers.
What about you, Paula? Wait, I'm sorry. Sade, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow, Sade? I'm sorry.
Oh, at the game? I personally don't know. I do think maybe some will take a knee, maybe the ones that been doing it, but I don't see every player on the field taking a knee or, sitting out the anthem. I don't see that at all. That's never going to happen because they are going to secure their check by any means. So it's like, yeah, we may agree with what Colin is doing, but we're not going to put our jobs on the line for him. But I support you. And it's like, that's kind of half backwards, It's like, you support me to an extent. Then do you really support me for real? I don't know. It should be interesting tomorrow. I would like to see that.
Well, all eyes are going to be on the game. That's just not only the eyes in the United States, but all eyes all over the world is going to be looking to see, because I don't know if they're thinking that this could be the catalyst that could start a change, And again, if you look at what Diddy said, what Chris posted on his Instagram page, something's going to happen, though, until something happens, What do you think, Paula?
I think they need to realize their own power, as you said, April. Tammy Roman gave she does those little Bonnet Chronicles, and she was talking about how the players to be chosen, they run these scrimmages, and the owners look at them to see how strong they are, how talented they are, and then they buy them. And it's a very good analogy because that's exactly what happens. And they're acting as if they own them. They have civil liberties. They have rights. And they have a right to stand up for themselves. They have a right to bend the knee if they want and not say the Pledge of Allegiance or stand for this for the anthem. So they have a lot of nerve, especially they have a lot of nerve saying that they should be taken off the field, because they exercise their right to dissent. It's a right in the Constitution. You have a right to dissent. And they're trying to take that away. They need to...
So what do you think is going to happen tomorrow, Paula?
I think they need to stand together. As Diddy said, united we stand.
No, I said, not what you want. I said, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
I don't know. Because people are really, as April said, afraid of... They're worried about their paycheck. They're worried about themselves. Not realizing that they have great power. They can't shut down everything. They can't fire them all. They can't. They would lose too much. But there's also an interview with Muhammad Ali saying the same thing. He was like, okay, I stood up and I made my point, and I still made money because of all these other people that kept their mouths shut, worrying about their fancy suits and their fancy cars. And it was a very good point. And that was 40 years ago. And nothing's changed, which is sad to say.
Speaking for current times, though, and I think the thing that keeps happening is this whole Trump intervening in comments or opinions of athletes that want to voice their opinion in support of what Kaepernick did. Earlier, I think it was yesterday, Steph Curry was asked if the Golden State Warriors were going to go visit the White House because that's what champions normally do. And all he said was he didn't know if they were going to do it or not. The team hadn't made a decision. And as quickly as he said that, then Trump disinvited not only Steph Curry, but the whole Warriors team, because he said it was disrespectful for them to basically question the president and what he's doing. And to me, it just seems like this stuff keeps happening, and they're putting a lot of pressure on athletes, and rightly so, perhaps because they do represent America, but they also are who people look up to. But if this keeps happening on Trump's side, it's going to keep building, and then something's going to have to give. Because you're talking, Steph Curry's a huge star in basketball. And then after he made that comment, then you had, what's the guy's name from the Cavaliers? The basketball player who...
Kevin Durant?
No, not Kevin Durant. He's a...
LeBron?
LeBron. Yeah, LeBron James replied back to Steph Curry's comment and said, you dummy, and that's what he was calling Trump in his tweet. He said, you dummy. He said he didn't want to come. That's not a disinvite. And so you can see, and LeBron James is a huge basketball player. A lot of people look up to him. If Trump keeps doing this, though, and stepping into areas that has nothing to do with politics, it's going to create a firestorm eventually, to where people are just going to have to say enough is enough. But, I mean, for me personally, I would love to see the players come together and take a knee. I would love to see that. And I'm hopeful that that's what's going to happen. Not all of them, but a good number of them to make a statement. That's what I'm hoping to see tomorrow. That's what I expect to see. But I'm an optimist anyway, but that's what I expect to see.
I have a question. So do you think that there is do you really think that people are really consciously aware? I don't want to say people specifically, but the NFL players are really consciously aware of what, do they, comprehend this pivotal moment that they have? Do you think that there is a conscious awareness across the board with NFL players?
I wouldn't say across
knowing
the board. I'm sorry, I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to, do you think that there is a serious awareness of what they can do, the power that they have? Do you think, even like what's really happening or what's going on in this country, do you really think they get it?
I personally think that so this might have to be edited, only because I'm going to be very blunt. I don't think that. I think it's the wrong sport they chose if they're trying to make a statement on social commentary on what's going on in the United States. I think they would have had a better chance with maybe baseball or basketball, only because, in my personal opinion, I don't think football players are the smartest people out there to know what, like you said, April, to know really the power they have, and you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're dumb. I just think that, remember, they're the only professional league who makes the least amount of money, no guaranteed money, and their union doesn't seem to be very strong. And that's just what I see for the NFL. Because here's the thing, even though they get paid the least amount of money and they put themselves in more physical harm than all the other sports,
Right.
And the most money, NFL football brings in the most money.
Exactly.
But so everybody's making money, and the owners are making money, and the players aren't making any money. So to me, that kind of shows that they haven't come together to help themselves. I don't know how they're going to come together to.
Exactly.
I think there's some fear there too, though, because I think it's easier for the basketball players to come together. I think there's a lot of genuine friendships there. They respect each other on and off the court. And they tend to, someone was saying this on Twitter earlier, that with basketball players, they tend to come together a lot more. And with the NFL, I think there's fear. I don't know, as far as race, if there are more, African American players than Caucasian players or whatever. But I just feel like with the NFL, there's not as much solidarity. And there are ones who do want to take a stand, but they don't want to be jobless. So, I don't know.
And that's Nikki. Welcome, Nikki.
Hey, well, I said LeBron a couple minutes ago. I'm driving. I'm calling in. I don't usually call in, but I'm not at home, so I figured I'd try to call in. Hello.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Hey, Nikki. Hey, Nikki.
And you make a good point, and I think another factor with the NBA over NFL is that guaranteed money. There's something really relaxing, that gives you a lot more comfort when they can't mess with your money. And the NFL players are under duress.
They don't have those types of nerves.
Yeah, they're under duress, and I don't understand for all the risks that they take. That they don't have better contracts.
But here's the thing that, me with numbers. So here's the thing that I think Diddy was trying to tell them. This is the first year that the NFL has had a drop in viewership on Monday Night Football and on Sunday football. First time in years. And now the stadiums are not even full anymore. And that's one of the things that they were saying is that in some markets, the stadiums are halfway full, which is unheard of in, definitely NFL football. So if they were to protest and come together, this is the time to do it because people want the money, the stadiums want the revenue that they're getting from concessions and all that. The teams need the money, the revenue for marketing, merchandise and all that. And this might be the perfect time for them to come together and not only ask for, take a knee for social injustice in the United States, but actually come together and make sure that they get treated the right way. It'll be interesting to see tomorrow, but I hope they do, though, because they could benefit from it as well.
I think they could. I think it has to be something where more people are willing to do it than not. And if they all would have come together and do it and make a stand, that would show a grave significance to what is going on. So, but it would take a series of them to do it. They saw Colin do it and the fallout of that, and they're like, and it's hard to. I mean, I think they should. I would hope that they should, but at the same time, I understand that they have families too. So if they could come together and all do it, that would be awesome because then the fear is gone. They're not going to fire everybody. They can't fine everybody. You won't have a sport then.
Exactly.
So
that's the NFL supporting them. The NFL actually came out against what Trump said. So they technically have the support from the team, from the union as well. Hey, Sade, what do you think, Sade?
Oh, I wasn't by my phone. What is this discussion we're having right now?
We're talking about how Chris posted that. Well, he reposted Diddy's call out for the NFL players to take a stand at the game to protest what Trump said about calling NFL players who take a knee sons of bitches and having them removed from the field. And Chris posted that on his page. He also posted an Instagram commentary from an author named Toni Morrison about racism. So we were just using that as the social commentary section of the podcast. We just want to know your thoughts as well.
Oh, I answered that already.
You said something about the players too for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, we got it then. Okay. Since I'm doing timekeeping, does anybody else want to talk about
the celebrity cruise?
this cruise. Oh, the Tom Joyner. What's it called?
I can't find any
Fantastic
information
Voyage.
on it. I felt like I've I can't really find any information on that, and I've gotten about three couples excited about going.
Well, did you go to Black America Web?
Oh, I didn't.
Black America Web is Tom Joyner's website, but he usually gives about a year. You have like a year to pay for it, so it's not happening anytime soon. But that's where I would look. I would look on Black America Web.
Okay.
One thing I did want to bring up is that Chris, we saw a fake article about Chris supposedly selling that Las Vegas lawsuit with that woman, and then just some commentary on that though. It really was that she got thrown out of the party, that I guess she wasn't either invited to or she started acting up, and it was actually Clay who physically removed her from the room, and then I guess her phone somehow either got lost or stolen or damaged. And so, that's what the gist of it. She even said that she wasn't sure who actually hit her in the eye. But TMZ posted that fake story, and then you saw under Chris' comments that they captured Chris replying to the Baller Alert post saying, what did he say, Paula?
Nah, B. Very succinct.
And I think that kind of talks about some of the things we've talked about in the past, where I think most of the fan base has grown up to where we know if this comes from teams, don't even click on it, don't give them any hits, don't even reply to it, because 9 times out of 10 the story's not even true. But
Right.
I think we were all saying, well, why would Chris settle with her? But now from Chris's own comments, it's whatever it is, it wasn't with Tina.
Yeah, I saw a few people get emotional, for lack of a better word, saying, "Oh my God," just immediately believing it. It's like, how are you still falling for this? They weren't even sure about details. They said, "Oh, he's paying her $70,000," and then they're like, "Oh, but some reports say it's less." You either know or you don't. I mean, that's how you know it's just a fishing expedition. Yeah, they had no idea. They just, but it had nothing to do with Chris anyway. It had nothing to do with him. She didn't even meet him, and that's her second time trying to get in near him.
But again, it just, we posted something saying, we got, again, TMZ, you can't even rely on it, but let's stop falling for the clickbait, because that's all it is. That's all it was. And, we had some people who were, "Oh, I'm so shocked and disappointed that he settled." Well, they didn't even have any facts in there. So, just the same old, same old. We seem to be, getting past that point to have to respond or retweet or at or whatever. But it was nice to see that Chris did make a comment, since people were wondering if it was true or not.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Paula. I went to Black America Web, and then they have the link for the cruise. They have like a whole website for it.
Oh,
I'm
good.
looking
It's
at
already.
it.
Okay, good.
Because I'm thinking about going to this. I've never went to one. My mom has been on a few. My aunts, my grandparents have went. But my fave was on there.
I know.
I'm like, want to go.
So, Paula, does it have Chris's information on there, Paula? Is his information on there?
I'm going now. To look now.
But if it does, we could post it on our page too as well.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, look at him on the banner. They picked a good picture of him. He's right next to Tamar.
Oh, we gotta post it then. Yeah, we gotta definitely post that.
Okay, so Nikki has to leave. Oh, she already signed out. Okay, Nikki had to leave. So let me. I thought she was gonna say something, but she, say goodbye on air, but she left. So I just said, okay. She had to go back to work. Okay. I'm looking now on Black America Web. I'm waiting. It's taking a long time to load.
Is that the information on the cruise, Paula, that you're looking for?
Yeah, I see it's right here. It's big. The big banner. It's just slow to load because we're doing this. It's hard for me to do while I'm
So April, I guess Paula's saying that it's on there. April.
Yeah, I'm on there.
You see it too, April? I know,
Yeah,
Sade, you see it, right?
I see where they're gonna have Tamar and Chris, because when you first pull it up, it just shows Isley Brothers and somebody else, and I'm like, okay, if Chris ain't gonna be there, I'm not doing this. And then you
Like, I
click
wanna
on
go.
it. Yeah,
wanna
when
go.
you click on it, then it shows Chris Brown and OJ. It pulls them up. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I see it
Frequently
now.
asked questions, 2018 cruise pricing, your transfer cancellation or refund policy, all inclusive, has all kinds of stuff on here. Tax deductible. I'm just looking at the pricing now.
Oh, that's right. It's tax deductible because it's a donation to the foundation.
Oh, that's
It's
neat.
tax deductible?
Yes.
It's tax
Yes.
deductible? What?
Yes.
Yeah, we really need to post this, Paula, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And maybe emphasize the tax deductible part, too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So it's April 29th through May 6th. So it's not quite a year this time.
Yes. No, it's not.
Oh, he's gonna spend his birthday on the cruise. That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah, that is cool.
It's pretty neat.
Oh, wow. Then you know he'll be relaxed and stuff, right? At least he won't
Yeah,
be...
he's gonna come back so caramel. Ooh, I'm waiting to have this tan. Because they're going somewhere hot.
Yeah, we gotta get tickets to this and celebrate his birthday too. Oh yeah.
Turning 29. Oh my God. And I'm pretty sure the boat is gonna do something big for him for his birthday, like, to put him on the spot.
They better, huh? They better.
Oh, there's the OJs, the Isleys. Oh, this is nice.
Tamar Braxton.
And again, like you guys had said prior, this could be where Chris kind of changes the game up and starts making it for younger people to start doing the cruises, just like the same effect that he had in Las Vegas with bringing the younger crowd out.
Right.
So this is great.
Of course, Dee would go for the tax deductible because she's missed money and finances.
I'm trying.
It says here under tax deductible, it says your cabin can be a donation.
No,
Like,
it's gonna be a donation. It's gonna be a donation.
Yeah, some of the ocean views accommodate 5 passengers. I'm like, really?
Oh, but some people want to. I guess they've had the experience of people want to bunch up like that, but not everybody wants that. I typically, I've only had a balcony once, but an ocean view for double is fine for me.
Yeah, we got to get the word out though. Seriously.
Right.
Load it up
Yeah.
with positive
I
energy
got-
people.
Yeah, I gotta send it out to people because I've already told like 3 or 4 people. I mean, pull this up.
Oh, this ship has.
Wait, so it's not listed? It's not listed on the site where they're going for the cruise?
Yeah, how come they don't have it listed? Where they're going? They're not going to Alaska, are they?
Oh no, it just
I
says.
really hope not.
Like my parents went on the Alaskan cruise. Oh, it was so beautiful. We saw the icebergs and they're blue. I was just like, I know we're not going to talk about a cruise to Alaska. Like, what? Like, really?
Yeah, I've heard quite a few people say the Alaskan cruise is a very nice cruise. My husband's aunt, she always cruises. She does them all the time, and she talks about what a great cruise that is.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I would rather go to
I've
like the
heard that.
islands or someplace like that, or to Italy or someplace European cruise or something like that.
I
I just don't like
to
cold.
know, though, I would like to know where we're going because I don't want to go someplace I've already been.
Well, hopefully it'll be someplace like, I mean, with this line, it should be someplace nice though. You think? So where have you been though so far, April?
We've done the Bahamas and we've done Progreso, Mexico, and Key West. So those are the 3 locations I've been so far.
You know, I've
Like, I
been
would
to
say
all
we'll
the
go to
islands.
like Cuba. I would say we'll go to like Cuba, Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Someplace like Cuba. Yeah.
Jamaica will be fun.
Yeah, I've been to
They
Jamaica.
go
but
to-
I've never
well,
cruised there.
They go to Brazil, Team Breezy Brazil are going to lose their minds.
Oh my
I know,
God,
that's
they
what
would
I'm saying.
lose
He
their
could go to
freaking
Brazil.
mind.
He could go to, and then I just want to go to Cuba to see like all like what it has, because since we were not allowed to be there for a long time, and Bush and
Yeah.
Trump probably gonna deny us entry again. But if he went to Brazil, oh wow, that'd be cool. I'm sure that's a frequently asked question, like where the heck are we going,
Yeah,
right?
it takes a long time for that.
Yeah.
When they announce it.
I'm gonna actually send because you have a space here where you can actually fill out and ask. I mean, that's what we really need to know, because make sure we have all the paperwork and stuff to even go if it's gonna be somewhere outside of the U.S.
They typically don't go anywhere you need shots, but you do need your passport. That's pretty much usually all you need.
So
I'm sure probably the devastation from Hurricane Maria and the islands, they might be thinking we don't know if everything is going to be back up by then. You know what I'm saying? Because some of those islands got devastated in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they got electricity back.
I found it.
You found what?
I found where they're going.
Where?
Where?
They're going to Mexico and Jamaica. I'm looking on the website, and this is where they're saying they're going to Mexico and Jamaica.
Where
Jamaica's on the other side, though.
Go to itinerary.
Oh, okay. That's a very good idea. That makes sense. Hello.
They're going to Jamaica first, and then they're going to Mexico, and then they're going to come back to the U.S.
Oh, this is awesome.
Hey, Paula, we got to get this out for everybody, and maybe even do screenshots in a slideshow or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me see what I can put
We
together.
are doing this. So April 29, 2018, they're leaving out of Galveston, Texas. Yay! We're definitely doing this. That's like 3 hours from me. That's perfect.
As long as it's tax deductible, right? Right. And the drinks, does that mean the drinks and everything else is tax deductible too?
No. Okay, but this is okay. They have a list of what is not included. They have specialty restaurants. I'm under the all-inclusive thing, which is all-inclusive, but it also says what's not included. I mean, everything. I mean, there's so many things included. I mean, it's your fitness classes, morning devotion, seminars, basketball tournament, beach party,
tournament. Oh, that's nice.
Celebrity-led excursions.
DJs and comedians.
Because the celebrities actually do interact. I've told you that before. A celebrity-led excursion. That's included. Autograph signings, Sybil's book club, sip and sketch. I don't know if you've ever been to a sip and sketch. Those are fun. You and your husband.
Chris gotta go.
It's like a couple. It's like a
Chris
couple.
gotta go.
Yeah.
Spoken.
You gotta go. Paula, you gotta get this all out so people can see this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then theme nights have represent night, which is Greek. It's Greeks. I'm AKA it's Greek night. Mardi Gras, white night, formal night, pajama night. So they have some of everything. At nighttime they have major concerts, comedy shows, lounge acts, parades, and after parties that takes you into the next morning. All of that's included. Now, what's not included is alcoholic beverages. You know, you have to pay for that. Everybody knows that. Gift shop purchases, of course, spa treatments, salon services, gambling. Of course, that's not included. Shore excursions.
Yeah,
that's always extra. Photographs. That's always extra. Internet access and chat options on the hub. They have a way for you to get online, but you have to pay for that. And that's always typical. Ship to shore telephone calls, which I would never do. Medical services and laundry services. And they have valet service, but they usually have self-service also. I've used that before. If I didn't want to pack too much, I just do laundry at some point. Let me see, how long was this cruise? No, I wouldn't do laundry for this. It's not that long. I wouldn't do that for like a 2-week cruise or a long cruise. But those kind of things are not included.
And now we get to understand how charitable donations work on a cruise and all that too.
Right.
So, okay. I got to start saving. But if it's tax deductible, then okay, I can figure it out a way to do that.
Yeah, the flights from California to here aren't that bad, actually.
Oh, look at this.
We got to do this. We got to all do this seriously, like, and get a lot of people doing it too.
We are.
And you
doing
said it could
I've
hold like
already
5 people in a cabin.
I've already told 3 other couples that said they want to go on a cruise, do a couples cruise. So I'll talk to our other 20 friends that we have and see if they want to do it too.
Okay, there's more acts than we thought because it's headliners like the OJ's, Oscar Brothers, Babyface, Tamar, and Chris. But then they have Divas Forever, and that's Jones Girls. I don't know if I remember the Jones Girls. In Vogue. So In Vogue is going to be on there, and SWV. So that's major. And then y'all wouldn't know these people, but I would know them. But GQ was a big group in the 70s. The Silvers were second only to the Jacksons. What's that? I need to mute. Okay. Taste of Honey and Heat Wave. I can't believe Heat Wave is performing. And then have Kings of Crunk. Now this is new. These are young people. Yin Yang Twins. Well, that's not all that new, but Bone Crusher, Trillville, Young Bloods, and East Side Boys. So and then Neo Soul. There's some of everything. Dwele, Raheem Devon, which I love Raheem Devon. Eric Roberson. Then R&B Generations. Manhattans, the Force MDs. Oh, that's 80s. I don't know. Yeah, 112. You know 112? Oh, okay. I guess you don't. DJ Cool. They've got Melly.
I know 112. I remember 112. I love their music.
And actually, the song for Questions, the music for Questions is really from a 112 song. So it's a sample anyway. Yes, that's from a 112 song. Some of the verses from Kevin Little, but that music is from 112 because that was a sample in itself. So that's why they got a lot of nerve talking about a sample. That's a sample of a sample. So what? Anyway, so now it also has the Fat Boys. Now one of the originals is dead, and the other one's not even fat anymore. But they got the Fat Boys on here, so it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot on here. They've got a lot. They've got everything, anything you can think of. They've got it on here. I'm gonna tweet the entertainment for the cruise. Let me see. It doesn't do a good tweet. I've got to piece something together because usually if they'll have something written, so when you click on a page, it tweets something. But I'm gonna have to create something in the tweet. But this is great. I'm glad you looked, Sade, while we were still on, and we'll make sure we leave this in. We'll just
we've been
moving around, and so we can. So this was a good session today. We're staying on time. We said 2 hours. We know we can't be on for 5 hours, starting as late as we did. but this was good. Dee, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you want to wrap it up for us?
Anything else? Anything else anybody want to talk about? Anything else before we wrap it up?
I'm good.
Are they? Find out about her cruise.
Oh, we did. Did we talk about how Pills and Automobiles has entered the Hot 100 as well? Now Questions has contacted me.
Oh, yeah. That's what 90. What is 98 or something like that?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then it might actually end up outperforming Questions eventually because the views keep going up. And I think one thing we'll do is, because Chris hit 31 million, he should hit close to 34, 30, maybe should be 34, 35, definitely by next week. But as soon as he hits 50 million, then we can go back and start. We should be within about a week or two. We can come back and say before Heartbreaking Full Moon is released, just try and get the rest of the videos from royalty to 100 million because we've got a few that are around 70 or 80 million. So we'll do that road to 100 million after he gets 50 million on Questions. Because that means if he gets 50 million on Questions, that means he's gold on the way to platinum. So And also, you know what, you guys, I forgot to mention, he's doing really, really well on Spotify. And that's something I think April was asking in the DMs. Spotify, we're going to keep making sure we update that playlist. I'll put the K. Michelle song on there and get that out today. But if he can keep doing amazing numbers on Spotify, as we saw in that article, which we were supposed to talk about, we'll talk about it later. Spotify getting him on the A-list quickly when he releases his album and some of the songs on the album, we can kind of mimic what the success that Cardi B had with her getting to be #1. We can do the same thing when it comes to Chris. So supposedly, according to one of Chris's writers, the next song that he's supposed to release as a single is supposed to be like super better than Pills and Automobiles as far as the success, but better than Party and better than the success of Party, Privacy, and Questions combined. This is supposed to be the one that's supposed to be the big hit.
I think that's probably what he was shooting.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I heard there's 2 really big features on that song.
I didn't hear that. So who's the 2 features?
It's rappers, but it's Future and Young Thug, and you know they have a really strong streaming fan base. So we'll see how that goes.
So that's what
they
was shooting for that video? Is that what they were saying last week?
I guess so, because someone who was there at the video shoot, it all went in the time frame of when that video was shot. The person said that the 2 people on set with him was Young Thug and Tiger. I mean, not Tiger, Future, my bad. Why is Tiger on my, he's on my Instagram feed.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that Future and Young Thug were going to be on a song with Crystal for his album, though.
Future was on royalty. And then Young Thug, remember, he was on the remix to Riff.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was the next. I thought the next song was supposed to be. Well, maybe you're right. Go ahead.
Slow song? Or maybe he has 2. I don't know. Maybe he shot 2 videos. Or maybe he was the feature with them 2. Maybe they wanted their song and he's the feature, perhaps.
I heard that he was supposed to be doing something that was like a mini movie kind of related. I guess we'll wait and see, but maybe you're right. I don't know. I didn't know it was
everything that's ever has been so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Where's the album cover?
I know, really.
Yeah, so we can advertise it on our page. My question is, so I did click on that link through Spotify that has the questions, but I think that we should create so that I'm not having to use, I mean, I'm still using the same devices, but I can just be clicked all on one link on all of my devices. If it has privacy, pills and automobiles, and questions all in one song, or should I just create my own playlist and do that?
No, we got a playlist for that. I can send you a link to the one that has pills and automobiles and privacy questions on it. I can send that. I've been tweeting it, but I can tweet it again though. I'll put it in the DM.
Yeah, as soon as you send that to me, that's what I'm gonna do. Now, is anybody else running into issues with Spotify where commercials? Was anybody else having problems with that?
What do you mean?
Sometimes when I'm playing, when it's on the playlist, because this kind of happens after I've gone to bed, but I have it still streaming. I'll come back and it stopped because of a commercial.
Oh, should have started again after the commercial.
It doesn't though. It's like a hard stop. Like I'll press, like it'll say, it's like a thing that says, you know, commercial here, or you know, the ones that tell you you can go ahead and click on this and have 30 minutes free of no commercial. I do those, the ads, but then there's another ad that comes up, and it's happening on both of my iPhones, where when I click on it, it pulls it up, but it doesn't go away. I was just curious, was anybody else having that problem?
I haven't seen that.
No, because I know that if you do Spotify free, it'll play the commercial, and you'll see it, and then after it's done, it goes back to showing the song and the playlist. Are you
I
using?
may go ahead and purchase it, but I am having a problem with ads. Where the ad it comes on, and even after it plays, it won't go away. Like it stops. Like I have to play it again. I literally am having to exit out of it completely, go back in, and it'll restart my list.
I have to look into it. Is it?
Well, guys,
Unrealistic.
we need to wrap it up because we're starting to stretch. We're about to slip into our old ways, and it's late in the evening.
I'm sorry, lady.
No
I
apology.
I was about to come in. I was about to come in.
The timekeeper was being quiet.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
but
then.
it was
You
good.
guys have a
Good
great
day.
week.
Thanks for everything.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on this episode, and we hope you'll join us again at the Vanguard.